Hello everyone. We Chamber for Advancement of Small and Medium Businesses. Our head office at BKC near Family Court, Mumbai, and we was founded. It was founded in 2020. These are some MSMEs number, and our mission is to work closely with all stakeholders for advancement of micro, small, and medium businesses and make them stronger backbone of Indian economy. These are a few of our objectives. We represent MSME across forum. We are consistently running knowledge series, trainings, study tours, as well as we organize and help to participate in exhibition. CSMB assists SMEs in developing product to cater to global market. We empowering farmers to become entrepreneurs. So for the advancement and growth of your business, become a member of CSMB. This is our core leadership team. Our chairman, Dr. Prabodh Haldesar, having 28 plus years of experience in food industry. He's a head technical regulatory Marico Limited. And our president, Mr. Nilesh Lele sir, has 20 plus years of experience in food industry, finance in India and USA. He's a founder of Food Tech Pathshala and founder of Ramp Up Advisory LLP. Secretary General, Mr. Umesh Kamble sir, having 15 plus years of experience in food industry, licensing, drug and cosmetic industry. He's a founder of Farm to Fork Solutions and currently he's the president of AFSTI Mumbai chapter. Our director, Mr. Amod Ashok Sargaonkar sir, has 12 plus years of experience in food industry, modern trade, cash and carry, wholesale, e-commerce, sustainability. He's a co-founder of A2S2 Enterprises. This is our social media. We are most actively on the social media like Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And most of our webinars and lectures are available on our YouTube channel at CSMB India. CSMB publishes the magazine Purna Brahma every year quarterly. It covers a range of topics related to the food industry, expert interviews, new trends, news, and student corners. We have already published 8 issues. Every time our issue comes with different themes relevant to food science and processing technology. This magazine is available on our CSMB website. You can download it. For subscription, you can contact us. These are our. This is a Food Tech Pathshala is a e-learning portal where you get certified and learn all about food and beverage industry. It is designed by industry expert with an objective to bridge gap between academia and industry. These are our, some of our achievement and past event which we organized successfully in last year. This is a in collaboration with MSME, we have successfully conducted Z awareness program in Mumbai and Pune. Then this is a pitch to fork event conducted in Dubai in December 2022. We have taken up almost 5 to 6 startup along with us to the Dubai event. This is an event also with collaborated with USEC Council. Those where CSMB members got chance to pitch towards investor. This is a like Shark Tank program. These are past seminars. Every year we conducted buyer seller meet for our CSMB members. For membership, you can contact us. This is the one most successful event we conducted with MSMEs in Nandurbar district. More than 200 plus industries connected with us. This is a currently published magazine, Purna Brahma. For subscription, you can contact us. And this is an upcoming issue. Theme is grains and pulses. For submission of article and advertisement, you can contact me and Anjali. Now I request to Anjali to give speaker introduction. Over to you, Anjali.
Yes, sure. So today we have with us speaker Girish Karantikar sir. He is a proprietor of GK Enterprises. His scope of work is in ISO certification and services. He is an internal auditor and a lead auditor. He has worked with world-class companies in ISO and engineering segment. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Welcome on board. Over to you,
Yeah, good
sir. We
afternoon.
can start the session. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, thanks. So, good afternoon to all the members and dignitaries. Uh, so, today's topic is how ISO 45000 or occupational health and safety management systems can be made use of in our day-to-day practices as well as in improving the industrial efficiency. Now, as I said, that ISO, full form of ISO is International Organization for Standardization, and the standard which we are discussing is related to occupational health and safety management. Now, in every industry, occupational health and safety has a huge impact on overall performance of the industry. However, people do not realize it unless and until they suffer some kind of a lost time injuries, or they have a problem due to health reasons and they need to stop the production or the industrial activity. Now, how this occupational health and safety management system works? For any company to be successful, they need to have some systems in place. Now, that systems need to be backed up by management so that the systems are effectively implemented on a consistent basis. Then those management system should aim towards occupational health and safety. Now, why occupational health and safety? If we see all types of international standards of quality, sustainability, environment, information security, energy management, they all have a basic thing that you have a chance to improve your performance using various titles used in ISO managements. Now, occupational health and safety is the basic standard because all the other standards revolve around those industries who can manage to exist. If you do not have occupational, or rather, you do not have good health, you will not exist to have environmental impacts, to get better quality, to have energy management in control, to get good food safety in place, then to have social accountability and so on. So health is a primus factor for any industry worldwide, irrespective of the type of business you are in. Now, why occupational health? Because we spend more than 8 to 10 hours in our occupational areas. So occupational health has huge impact on overall life of a human being. So occupational health becomes very important when it comes to the working part of the industry. Now, what is occupational health and safety? Now, the chapters are from 1 to 10 in the entire standard, where idea here is not just to get certifications or see to it that you are certified, but the idea is how to take benefits out of these principles which are formed by worldwide experts and are used by all the champion companies in any form of business. Now, total chapters are from 1 to 10. Chapter 1 is about the scope. You need to define first what should be the scope of your certification or scope of the implementation you intend to implement the standard in. Now, the scope can cover your boundaries like factories, locations, offices, as well as it can also give an indication of what you would be expecting on your certifications. Now, the purpose of occupational health management system is to ensure that your occupational health system network is formed in such a way you have less number of injuries, you have better health conditions created, you do not have lost time injuries, you do not have fatalities, you have variety of controls applied to prevent the work breakdown, and environment improved significantly. Finally, various standards of ISO are derived with the basic understanding of the safety business through one things like quality, health and safety, environment impacts, and so on and so forth. Standards, there is a PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, and act. For every standard, we need to plan the activities, what we are intending to do. Then, do is the actual execution of the work. Checking is monitoring through audits, and act is the requirement which takes you towards the improvement. Now, in this PDCA cycle, basic idea is that your company needs to have commitment towards occupational health and safety. Hemlata, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can start.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So we are discussing on the scope of the organization's certification and what are the areas it covers. Basically, it will cover the locations they want to certify as well as areas and operations they want to have. Point number 3 or the chapter 3 talks about various definitions, which are like organizations, interested parties, workers, then how to measure their participation, how to do the consultation, what is workplace, then how to have the requirement measured, what are the legal requirements for a business to acquire, then what are the management systems, etc. Once the definitions are understood, then the actual standard starts from chapter 4, because chapter 4 is a starting point in terms of high level structure, and it starts first with the basics of understanding the context of the organization. That means the organization belongs to various stakeholders. In terms of stakeholders, can be your bankers, financiers, employees, then your vendors, your customers, because all of them have a direct or indirect contribution for the company to have its performance upgraded. Now we need to understand the need and expectation of each and every stakeholder so that we are able to match their expectations all the time to the level possible, and that will give a basic sense of confidence to all the stakeholders that the company where they have invested their time, efforts, and money is able to perform well with reference to occupational health and safety. Now, once you have the external as well as internal issues discussed, now there could be external issues in terms of legal compliances. Internal issues could be your work culture, working hours, type of products, product related safety, work related safety, unsafe acts, etc. Then you have OHS management system where the keywords are establish, implement, maintain, and improve. Now, why these 4 keywords are important? Because first we need to establish a system, then we need to implement the system in such a way that implementation takes you towards your goal. Then you need to maintain the system, because maintenance is all about consistency of performance. And then you keep on improving the system, because if you don't improve, companies as well as businesses will die on its own. So basically all these 4 elements are very important to understand. You will always find that there will be a system which needs to be established, which needs to be implemented, maintained, and the result should have a continual improvement as a part of it. Now, all these systems need to be actually focused from leadership point of view. Why leadership point of view? Because any company, any business, any factory, the benefits will be first shared by the management. That's why it's always necessary that the management needs to be focused. Management needs to have a commitment, and they need to show the leadership. Now, what it means? They need to have a policy defined towards health and safety. They need to have a direction given for health and safety related objectives, they need to have a policy in such a way that target objectives can be derived from the policy. Policy is a statement where management commits themselves that they will like to achieve certain things for the business of their company. Now, once they have the directions given, they have to ensure that the roles, responsibilities, authorities are shared to various teams so that their policy is actually not just established but is implemented effectively and further maintained successfully. Now, what is OHS policy? OHS policy is basically a statement which management shall establish in order to cover a commitment to provide safe and healthy working environment for all the stakeholders so that there is no ill health. Now, can you imagine a person working in a company with maximum risk? Will the person continue? The answer would be no from the health aspect. You may have very good quality based competent person, and the person, let us take a simple example, that person is having a dust allergy and you are expecting the person to perform in the project site because he or she is competent. That won't be possible and sustainable because the person will not be able to have health related competency matching the requirement. And then what happens is ultimately people quit. Why? Because their health related competence is not measured while selection of the individual in the company. So health policy should always be a framework where you can have objectives established, where you have legal requirements fulfilled, where you can eliminate hazards and ensure safe environment. Now, policy should always be available as a documented information. Why documented? Because documented information is something which can be regularly studied, evaluated, reviewed for check compliance, and then can also be improved. Then it should be communicated within the organization, it should be available, it should be appropriate towards the business, and it should also make the organization team to have role, responsibilities and authorities defined towards health and safety. Now, how you define the roles and responsibilities towards safety? You might have seen in many good companies there are posts like safety manager, safety head, then various emergency response team. So all these headings which you hear from various international successful companies are because they have roles and responsibilities as well as authorities related to health and safety given to their working teams in order to maintain health and safety effectively. Now, consultation and participation of worker is necessary because for any system to be successful, unless you involve workers, make them participate, system will not have a successor plan as well as it will not be a successful system. Now, when you have consultation on workers, you need to have a mechanism, training, resources available so that workers have clear understanding of the need and expectation of the management, interested parties. They should know about the policy. They should also know the roles, what they are to perform, what are the unsafe acts in their areas, what are the unsafe conditions, and to overcome those unsafe conditions, what are the precautions to be taken so that the work is performed without any gaps. Then what are the controls applicable as well as what needs to be done during safety meeting and to face emergency situations. Now, in many organizations, they do not have any idea about emergency preparedness. Unless you know what are the types of emergencies you can face because of your work culture, working systems, you will not make a plan to have mitigation done. So
Only
to
one
have those
single
plans,
slide is there. It is not moving. I think a slide should be
Sorry?
changed according to the speaker what is speaking about.
we are discussing clause number 6, planning.
Slides are not changing according to the points the speaker is speaking, I think.
Hemlata,
So
can you just
only single
yeah.
slide is there from last 10 minutes, I think.
Okay. I think Hemlata, can you go to slide clause number 6?
Okay, sir.
Are you able to display slides accordingly now? Clause number 6, planning.
Yes, sir.
Page number 11.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So in planning, we need to have
It is page
actions to
number
address
11, I
risk.
think.
Planning. Are you able to display? Hello? Hello?
Yes. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Are you able to display the page?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm on
Thanks.
page number 11.
Yeah, correct.
Hmm.
So it is about actions to address risk and opportunity. So when we are planning the management system, we need to understand what are the risks. Now, what are the risks related to working? The risk could be because of electrical areas, because of fire. It could be because of earthquake, various kinds of emergencies, it's unsafe acts. And all those risks and opportunities would be how we convert those risks into opportunity. Now, once we have the risk part, first we need to understand how to identify the risk. Then we need to classify the risk. Risk can be classified in two ways. One is acceptable, second is actionable. Now just a simple example to it is, we are all working on a computer. What are the acceptable risks? Sometimes our mouse may not work, sometimes our keyboard can get locked. What could be the actionable risk? If there is a antivirus not installed properly, virus entering the system is not acceptable, so it is an actionable risk. Data storage not happening is actionable risk. So this is a simple example of working on a PC. Now there could be risk due to radiations also, which may or may not get measured and silently can have a killing effect on various employees at various levels. So this is just because I'm just giving you an example, since we are all using computers extensively. These are the various risks associated to an activity termed as working on computers. Now this is one of the activity. There could be n number of such activities performed in various companies at various levels, which will attract risk. Now the risks, once they are classified, you need to have a mitigation plan to prevent, reduce the undesired effects, as well as to have continual improvement. Now, OHS risk are primarily related to various activities in the company, which covers all the sections and all the segments in their respective areas. Like somebody visiting to a customer, making a customer visit also can face a risk. Somebody at production shop floor doing the production job can also have a risk. So each and every element needs to have HERA chart developed. What is HERA? Is hazard identification and risk assessment. First, you need to know what is the hazard. Then once you identify the hazard, you have to have the risk which is associated to the hazard, and then you have to do the assessment. Now we can move to page 12, please.
Yes.
Yes. Now, as I said, hazard identification is a very crucial activity, because for hazard identifications, you need to consider various factors in terms of infrastructure, product, human factors, work performed. Then what are the emergency situations which can occur or which have occurred? Then who are the people? What is their competency level? Then apart from their competency level, other issues which include consideration of design of work areas. Are there any confinement areas? Then what are the processes, installations? Then what are the situations in which emergency can occur? Then what are the actual changes in the organization? How the knowledge or the working systems can get associated. So all these factors are considered in knowing hazard identifications. Once you have identified the hazards, then Himrata, you can move to the next page. Then you need to have the assessment of the risk, and based on the assessment, you need to come out with a mitigation plan. It is expected that you try to avoid all the actionable risk. Once you do the assessment of risk, similar ways, you need to also check what are the opportunities and ways in which you can have the legal requirements and other requirements covered in the opportunities and the systems. Now, legal requirements can mean right from person related legal requirements, system related, business related. It will also mean finance related legal requirements, so that the entire legal register needs to be updated in order to see that there is no penal actions. Now, suppose there is an environmental legal action, then it can stop your business. Many of the teams do not have a legal tracker. Now, you should always have a legal tracker in your company, so that all the legal requirements are tracked regularly, updated, and noted and reported to management. Then once you have the legal requirements fulfilled, obviously the business generally starts with all the legal requirements being fulfilled. Then you have the planning action. Himlata, we can move to next page. Page number 14.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then we need to have OHS objectives and actions to plan them. Now, why objectives are important? Just by having a policy stating that we will not have any injuries, nobody will have any legal non-compliances is not enough. We also need to be consistent with the policy to have a derived objectives which can be SMART, that is specific, measurable, achievable, recordable, and time bound. So we need to have something which is measurable, which will cover all the applicable requirements, which can get monitored, communicated, and it will be appropriate to the task. Now, once we have the objectives set, then we need to understand that all the objectives need to be monitored. Hello.
It's audible, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Once we are monitoring the objectives, we also need to understand that whatever monitoring we are doing, are we resulting into desired level of actions, or we need to take some actions in order to match the objectives and the results which management needs to establish, implement, maintain, and improve. Anybody having any doubts about how to establish objectives? Anybody wants to understand anything on policy objectives? So far, we covered various types of risk, how to identify hazard, how to ensure participation of workers in through safety meetings, through management reviews. So any doubt till now?
Participant, do you have any question? Then you can unmute yourself.
If there are no questions, we'll move ahead. And the chapter 7 is about support. Once you have, as we have seen that first we have to understand the organization, then management has to take the lead, make sure that all the legal requirements and other requirements are fulfilled, define the policy towards health and safety, define the goals, objectives which gets measured towards health and safety, define all the hazards for all the tasks, which can result into either injuries, can be hazardous, or can have a risk. Now, once they have done this, they need a support. Now, support is in terms of resources. All the resources should be competent. As I said, that competency will be measured in terms of education, experience, skills, and then based on the available experience and skills, people need to upgrade their skills using training. They need to have awareness. Now, this awareness is about policy and objectives. Then this awareness needs to be about implementation of all the processes and procedures which management has established. They should be aware about what are the types of incidents, what are the hazards, risks associated to their working, and how company has taken active actions in terms of removing, eliminating those hazards, or having some kind of mitigation plan towards it. Now, next part is about communication. Once we have the resources, they are competent, their awareness is good. Now, in awareness, we can take a simple example that tomorrow, let us say, some material of glass is required to be logistically posted from one location to another, and the driver of that particular vehicle is an ambulance driver. The person will definitely reach the place much before time, but inside material, if he is not aware of what is inside, whether glass or something else, perhaps all the material will get destroyed. So that is a simple awareness. The driver may be competent, all the material may be good quality till it is loaded in the vehicle, but that awareness is missing, then the entire things can go for a toss. So that communication is important. Now, what it means, communication should cover whom to communicate internally, externally, amongst the contractors, amongst within the company, information towards health and safety for each and every aspect and each and every areas. Hemlata, you can go to next page. That is page number 16.
Yes.
Now, page number 16 speaks about what is internal communication and external communication. Now, health and safety has two basic distinct areas. One is internal communication. Internal communication means how the internal teams are made aware about HIRA, hazards, OHS management systems, as well as how to ensure that the communication is given in such a way that they are able to implement the system effectively. Now, external communication is communication with the external stakeholders, like it could be electricity board, pollution control board, legal statutory bodies, and they need to know what is the communication expected towards them. Documented information is something which is needed for all ISO systems and standard to make it effective. Unless and until things are documented, people won't be able to have message going to them that what needs to be implemented, what is the mechanism, how it is expected, what needs to be done, do's and don'ts. Now, in documented information, once the documents are created, they need to be updated on regular basis with a single point of contact. They need to be circulated so that people understand various risks, actions, they work towards it and ensure that there are no accidents, injuries, lost time, various kinds of disturbances during working. Now, all these documents need to be controlled. Generally, they are soft copies, then they are controlled by using soft password protections, or in hard copies, they are kept in proper distinct areas so that it is accessible to the people. The next part is about operations. Now, operation planning and control. As I said, that establishing the criteria for operation planning, it depends upon the type of business. Every business needs to have some operation planning. And they also need to have a control so that the documented information which is used for performing an activity is having planning as well as control aspects. Now, once you have all the operation planning and control, first and foremost thing is you need to eliminate the hazard and reduce the risk. Now it is always not possible to eliminate the hazard. Then you have a substitution. If substitution is not working, then you need to have a engineering controls. Like you must have seen in various companies, there are fire safety systems to prevent that. Engineering controls are available and people are able to take proper actions by knowing there is a fire. Then there are administrative controls, like you will see in IT server room, people are not allowed to access any details. So these are the administrative controls. Then you also need adequate personal protective equipment when you have to face a situation where you need to work in a hazardous area. Then personal protective equipments like usage of helmets, gloves, mask, and various other equipments based on the work related areas. You need to have the personal protective equipments. Management of change speaks about workplace locations, then how the organization product
So
gets
slide
changed,
number
material
18.
gets changed. Yes, page number 18. Clause number is 8.1.3. Management of change. If there is a change of equipment, then also there is a change in safety conditions, which needs to be noted. When there could be a change in the legal requirement, from service tax to GST is a change of legal requirement. So you need to understand and adopt yourself towards it so that you match and fulfill all the legal requirements. Then there is a procurement which needs to be understood, that there is a procurement related to contractors. Now, when you speak about contractors, it is definitely possible that you could have some contracting teams working in your area, as well as you could be appointing some contractors for doing some labor job. Now, when you are doing some labor job or you are outsourcing an activity, you have to ensure that all those people who are working in your areas are safe and they are not affected because of your work related unsafe acts. Then you need to also understand what are the emergency preparedness and response, most important part. Now, establishing a process for this means, if you really think that emergency responses are effective, you will find that those companies who implement these emergency responses properly, they have less accidents, less hassles, and workplace is very safe. You need to know first what are the trainings to be given, what are the emergency situations, what are the emergency response teams, how they are to be trained. This also includes treatment using first aid box. This also includes whom to contact in emergency situations. This also covers your fire protection systems. This also covers all the mechanism by which you can save life. Medical emergencies, how to handle, whom to contact, then whether you have medical history card of the employees so that you know exactly what the treatment is and what is to be done in emergency. So all that is covered in emergency preparedness and response. Then there is a performance evaluation. Now, as I'm just recapping, we started with every company to have understanding about the context of the organization, knowing external internal issues of the company, understanding the expectations of interested parties. Then you have management to show the commitment, direct the employees with the roles and responsibilities and accountabilities. Then once the role responsibilities are defined, legal compliance is obtained. Then there is a policy defined towards health and safety, ensuring that no injuries take place, no accident take place. There is all legal compliance towards health and safety. Once you have understood the legal compliance and other parts, then you have objectives derived from it, that there will be zero accident, there will be zero. There are companies who define objectives such as zero medicine days for all the employees. Some define at zero accident, some say that no repeat incidents. So these are all the objectives. Once the objectives are defined, you need support to have those objectives achieved in real life. These supports could be your human resources primarily. They need to be competent, they need to be aware of what they are doing. After that, we have seen operation planning and control, where each and every operation needs to be planned, controlled with reference to health and safety. Then the emergency situations you need to evaluate. First, you need to understand what are the emergencies. You need to have a preparation towards it so that there are no human losses or loss of life, or there are less injuries which can be avoided in the emergency situation. Then you have to understand what are the emergency evaluation is about monitoring, measuring, analyzing, and performance related to health and safety. Now, what it means is how you can monitor the performance if a company is doing a good health and safety management. One is about the legal requirements, whether they are achieved or not. Then, secondly, about progress towards OHS objective achievement and the operational controls. Now, there are various ways of checking this. There could be emergency situations which can be avoided or which are not coming. There could be incidents where incident management is required. There could be injuries. There could be first aid usage. There could be firefighting devices getting used. So all these things are the indications of variety of OHS management systems getting measured. Then internal audit is performed in order to measure all this. Then once the internal audit is performed, you come to know what are the gaps. In internal audits, you come to know what are the compliances, what are the non-compliances, how to tackle non-compliances to ensure that they are not repeated. Then evaluation of compliances is mandatory because that will define whether we are able to evaluate all the compliances are properly met or not with the requirements. Once the internal audit is performed, then you need to understand that management should get the report of what is happening towards health and safety in their company, be it preparation towards giving training to the emergency response teams, training for health and safety teams, then conducting safety meetings, understanding the issues, whether the hazards are increasing, whether risk factor is reducing. All these things get defined and they are decided in management review meetings. Management review meetings speak about the risk, opportunities, legal requirements. Then it also speaks about the audit results, customer satisfaction in terms of health and safety issues, risk and opportunities, then compliance evaluation. In short, this is kind of a board meeting where you come to know the summary of all the actions which are taken towards health and safety. Then the last but not the least, the last clause is about the improvements. Now, improvements is something which is a basic need of all the human beings. We need to always keep on feeling that we should improve our health, we should have better safety conditions so that our quality of life is improved. Now, to have that, we should be able to understand incident management. If there is any incident, how to tackle it, how to report it, how to understand the root cause so that you take properly timely actions. Then what are the non-conformities, and then what are the corrective actions. Now, if somebody gets injured, then the immediate action would be you have bandage available, you have some medicines available. That is a correction. Corrective action would be you understand the root cause, why that injury took place, and then try to eliminate them. Then we should also understand that if there is an emergency situations, what is to be done. And finally, it should result into continual improvement, which should show enhancing of the performance. Now, one should be able to measure for the stakeholders and investors aspect that whether a company is able to improve its health and safety in terms of measurable performance. Now, this measurability could be in terms of accident, as I said, in terms of lost time injuries, in terms of fatalities, in terms of machine breakdowns. Various things can happen because of unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. So these gets measured, and obviously companies who are expecting to have a sustainable, consistent performance need to understand that the occupational health and safety plays a major role in all aspects of their working. Because finally, as I said in the beginning, that if you exist, then only you can have good quality, good environment to sustain. You can have energy controls, you can have social accountability, and so on. So that's it from my side. Anything anybody wants to know, please let me know and I will try and answer. Yeah, Imlata, over to you.
Thank you,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir. Participant, do you have any questions? Please type your question in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask the question.
Or they can send me the questions through you so that I can answer all the questions in timely manner. Anybody wanting to know anything specifically can ask. subject is very vast. So I tried to cover it in 30-40 minutes. It's very difficult, but then yeah, I mean, I'm just basics of OSHA. So any questions, Hemlata?
Anjali, do we have any questions in registration form?
Or can we close?
Yes, sir. Since don't have any question, I would like to propose vote of thanks. Thank you, sir. On behalf of CSMB, I thank
Okay, sure.
Mr. Girish sir for his valuable time and informative session. Thank you all participants for joining, and thank you. It was a great session, sir. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you again in the next webinar with a new topic. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.